Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
Are you all ready?
Hey man, can I pull up my go ahead.
Welcome to the Application of Knowledge podcast. I am Animated Mel. Today we have Chris James. And also we have joining us for the 50th, 7th time or 6th time. How many episodes we got? 56, 57?
30.
Something like that. Stephen Michael. And Stephen's actually going to start us off. So Stephen.
Oh, wow.
What do you have for us, buddy?
Okay. I don't know why that intro was so awkward.
Hey, man.
You do know why.
Because
There's the transition. The transition was terrible.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen Michael, what do you got for us today?
Right.
It's not a game show.
All right. Anyway, since there was this awkward transition. So, did you guys hear about the pastor that died after doing fasting? This is super recent, this week.
Oh, it was one of the
Breaking news.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Did you read up on it?
Not everything.
You just saw. Okay, Chris, have you heard anything about it?
Yes. I mean, I've seen the article. I saw a post, yes.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Go ahead, speak on it.
Because we are the Application of Knowledge podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're going to apply this knowledge. So, if you guys don't know, there was a post on Instagram, and apparently there was a 39-year-old African pastor died on Wednesday after attempting to replicate Jesus Christ's biblical accomplishment of fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. So first of all, you know, that sucks, the fact that he passed away. Number one, heart goes out to the family. Now they are in Mozambique, so they're in Africa. So I'm just going to read the post for those people who don't know. So a pastor in Mozambique has died after attempting to go 25 days without food or water in a bid to fast like Jesus in the Bible, per multiple media reports. So this is from the media. Francisco Baraja, the 39-year-old founder of the Santa Trinidad Evangelical Church, died in a hospital in Mozambique's capital, Beira, on Wednesday, the BBC reported. He had been attempting to emulate Jesus' 40-day fast from the Bible per the outlet. By the time Baraja, was administered medical aid, his digestive organs had failed, and he was diagnosed with acute anemia, or when the body doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells to carry sufficient oxygen, the BBC wrote. His family and followers saw he had fallen sick after 25 days of his fast, and insisted that he be admitted to the hospital, where he was given serums to get rehydrated, per the BBC. Staff at the hospital, Central Derberia, attempted to reintroduce liquid foods to his diet, God. But his organs were in such bad state that it hurt when he tried to eat. So it was reported, I don't know the name, online, a Portuguese language news outlet in Mozambique. He had lost so much weight he couldn't stand or bathe himself, the outlet wrote, and he ended up passing away in the hospital. So,
it's open and shut case here.
It's not quite an open and shut case. Interestingly enough, this actual article is missing a piece because in the first article that I read, it said that he also had suffered from high blood pressure, and his son said that he doesn't think that it had anything to do with the fasting. He said he thinks it has something to do with the high blood pressure. So, like I said, it's not in this article, which I thought that was interesting because this may be edited, but that's the story.
Well, the story's edited regardless of how you get it.
Well, of course. But even with what they told us, there's a lot of problems here.
Do they have a picture of how he looks?
I'm sure if we looked, but no. I mean, this is just this picture, but no. There's. I would love to dig more into that maybe and try to figure that out. Like, what he looked like before, what he looked like in the hospital, whatever.
He probably was not overweight.
I mean, he had high blood pressure. Well, I guess you don't need to be overweight.
He probably was not overweight because 25 days of dry fasting.
Well, if that's the picture of him.
The man.
The one
touching,
getting. The one in the middle.
Getting,
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's
Like Dave Chappelle.
Pretty much.
Because he's bald?
Well, the way his head is shaped.
Oh, okay. All right, I can see that.
Yeah, so this is pretty open and shut in my opinion. First of all, he already had pre-existing health issues. Most people aren't fasting and they're just in the greatest health. Usually when people want to do that type of fasting, it's because they're sick. Mm-hmm. Especially something, that intense, a 40-day dry fast, number one. Number two, there's no history. They don't tell us anything about does he practice fasting regularly. Like, there's zero background,
right,
which is extremely important.
Yeah.
So assuming, because the story doesn't tell you, assuming that he just jumped out and decided to do this, that's always a big no-no with any kind of fasting. And then, of course, 25 days of dry fasting, especially if you're just not used to it, it's going to shock your body.
Also, one thing to note, this article, this one is different. The other one had more details. So the other one said that they started to, and it's so interesting how they do this. The other one said that they started to see that he had fallen sick at day 25. They urged to give him food. He refused the food. And then they said that it was day 38 where he ended up going to the hospital. So, right. So
he almost made it.
He almost made it. So and then obviously in the hospital, all this happened, and then
they killed him.
He ended up passing away.
They killed him.
So at 38, he was still alive. He was fine. At 25, they were like, you got to do something. But at day 38, he's almost there.
Yeah.
Right? And then when he goes to the hospital, now all of a sudden, he goes to the hospital, and then now he dies in the hospital. Mm-hmm. So there's some missteps here. And the interesting thing is that it was like the day before or the day after it was like the day before this came out, I made a post about fasting, and it was like 3 mistakes not to make when fasting. You remember that? Yeah. Okay, and so the first one was to make sure you prep, right? The second one was no extreme gym workouts, and then the third one was don't refeed with meat and dairy, right? Which is basically just an improper refeed. Mm-hmm. And based upon the information that we have here, I can almost guarantee he did not prepare for this. And even if he did, you're talking about a 40-day dry fast. Because people have to understand, this is extremely misleading. This article is extremely misleading because then because I've been getting a lot of questions about this. Because people are like, oh my God, fasting is dangerous. And I'm like, bro, you realize this is dry fasting, number one, right? And number two, with dry fasting, you have to be extremely careful when you start and then how you end.
Especially 40 days of dry fasting.
Correct. If you're doing 2 or 3 days or whatever, I mean, you rock out, right? Standard protocols. 40 days? I mean, I did 10. And it's just like, you got to be careful, right?
I did 6, and my throat had already got out of use of swallowing.
Right. Well, because you're not swallowing much, right? So at that length of time of dry fasting, I mean, for me, hearing this, and of course you already said it, it's malpractice, right? You're doing a holistic practice or not a medical practice, and you went to a medical doctor and they treat you based on your symptoms, right? So your symptoms are going to say, oh, you're dehydrated, which you're at 38 days. Dude, you're not dehydrated. You would have been dead at 38 days if you needed water, weren't getting it, right? So there's like, oh, you're dehydrated. And I'm sure they put an IV in him.
Oh, yeah.
They're giving him electrolytes.
Pumping it right into his veins. And then they're feeding him. And at this point, for 38 days, you can't eat yet. You cannot eat.
You can't eat after 38 days of dry fasting.
He would need, after 40 days of dry fasting, I would give him a week of water only.
I mean, after that long, okay, I wouldn't say quite a week, but I would say at least 3. Me personally, Well, what I was gonna say at least 3 days of water, and then I'll give him juice.
I mean, you could have juice three to 4 days in, but liquids only for a week,
and
easy.
just a little bit.
Just a little.
I mean, we're talking
gallon of juice or water.
Yeah, we're talking the first 2 or 3 days. I mean, we're talking like 32 ounces, and you're just sipping, just so your body understands there's new water coming in.
And also, the quality of that water is going to be top tier.
It's got to be top tier.
It can't just be tap water.
And they're just giving him an IV full of salt and electrolytes and water, like. They killed him.
They killed him.
If you don't know what you're doing and you do that type of fasting, then it can be detrimental to you. It's not the fast itself, right?
He survived the fast.
He survived the fast. The fast didn't kill him, right? It was the refeed, and even then, it was just like, well, if you had pre-existing conditions, also, I'm not saying that they played a part in it, honestly, but maybe if he had high blood pressure and it was diagnosed, he probably was on medication too. So we don't know.
It's hard to
right?
say.
And of course, that stuff stays in your system for a few days as well, right? It's meant to build up this tolerance. But the what happens is that you have there's a response in the body called the vasopressive response. And what this does is it recycles your water in the body, so that way you don't just simply pee it out. So your actual hydration, it recycles it. And then what you do pee out is coming from it's waste essentially that is coming from, your kidneys that are filtering from the lymphatic system. But the vasopressive response breaks down the fat when you're dry fasting, and that's the water that it just simply recycles, right? But you're also in a very hypersensitive state where you're then absorbing way more water through your skin than normally, right? Because we normally absorb water through our skin just on a general, but it actually opens up the pores in the skin so that you absorb more water. And then when you're bathing, your body just drinks it, right? And it's not going through your throat drinking it, it's going through your skin. So it's much easier for the body to process that and then use it for hydration. So this is one of the biggest reasons why it's okay to dry fast, but it takes time for that system to turn off. Just like it takes time after you eat, after a regular fast, you go try to eat and you're not going to be able to eat. Your stomach is shrunken up. The body's smart. It's not going to keep the organs large because it's not using them. Mm-hmm. So what it does is it conserves energy, and then it allows the body to then take energy to transfer it to absorbing through your hair, absorbing through your skin, right? And then in the body, breaking down fat and then recycling it. So this is the thing that they don't understand. And then you go into the hospital and they're like, he's been fasting. He's been drank for 38 days. And they're like, oh my God, give him liquids. Like,
right.
Bro.
Right.
This is the most frustrating thing. Like when I saw that and I'm just like, dude, they killed him.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't, I guess, like properly do the research before, because
you mean the doctors or him?
The people that was around him, because they were putting messages in his head or getting him admitted to the hospital. Mm-hmm. Like you have to do some form of understanding, like, okay, to feed to feel this process so it doesn't die.
Right.
Because you can't just be like, you know what, Jesus did this, so I'ma just go out there and do this without actually preparing your body, especially if he's already he had diabetes.
I don't know. He definitely had high blood pressure.
So
if he was that small with high blood pressure, he was probably extremely toxic, right? Because typically, high blood pressure is usually going to come with obesity. It's usually going to come with people that are a little bit bigger. You don't typically see people, if this picture is him, you don't typically see people that are smaller. I mean, he looked overweight, but he's still average. He wasn't obese in this picture.
How old did they say? 39?
30, yeah.
That guy looked about 39.
Well, yeah. If he was that size or just slightly overweight, not obese, and he had high blood pressure and it was diagnosed, that means he's going to be very toxic, right? Yeah. That means there's some stuff going on in his body, right, where he's struggling, probably eating a lot of meat, right? He might have issues with his arteries, right? Red heart. They were talking about his red blood cell count. Like all these things make a difference, right? Because your body's not getting hydration through the same way. So it changes things. So of course you go to the doctor, they put your blood under a microscope or they do these tests. Yes, it's going to look different. Yeah. It's going to look wrong.
Yeah. You can't even get a blood test after fasting. You can't even get a blood test for like 4 to 5 days because you're not going to get an accurate
It's going to be
reading.
super inaccurate. So this whole process was done incorrectly, and it's just like all you have to do is do a little bit of research. Now, granted, there's not a lot of research online about dry fasting.
Well, here's the thing, and this is to Mel's point. You know, when it comes to my experience, I'll say with church, because this is kind of like they're trying to say it's a Jesus thing, a church thing. They never taught fasting in any capacity for you to understand the mechanics of it. Because the Bible, as far as I understand, as far as I know, the Bible doesn't outline how to fast.
No, I agree.
It just tells you to fast. So,
Man, they be fasting. What you talking about? They do a Daniel fast.
no. Well, the Daniel fast is.
Who?
Oh, you never heard of it?
Daniel?
The Daniel fast.
I don't know what a
The
Daniel is.
Daniel fast is different, and they do kind of like give you some instructions for that. But as far as like actual fasting, like it's just like dry, just no water, no food. You know what I'm saying? So when you say why didn't they do the research, it's because culturally, like when you're in that culture, it's the Bible. The Bible says do this. You don't really.
They don't even question it.
I'm just keeping it real because I was in that. Like I know, like they don't teach you, hey, go research, go find out this and that, or talk to other people who have done it. None of that. It's just like, yo, we're gonna fast, and this is what we're gonna do, and that's what it is.
It's a tragedy. Daniel fasting is where they basically remove. It's like Lent for Catholics. You understand Lent, or do you know what Lent is?
Yeah. I know
Okay.
what Lent is.
So and then Ramadan, right? It's a very similar thing, but the Daniel fast is that they just remove certain things.
Who is Daniel?
Character of the Bible.
Yeah, he's a character in the Bible.
Character in the Bible.
Is that's a good response, right?
Yeah, I
How
think
much more detail does he need?
I think that's perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know the specifics of it.
The Lord.
I know that they just remove like certain foods, right? There's only certain things you can eat.
Yeah, I think they don't drink like wine or hard alcohol. They don't. I think they remove meat. I want to say, but
And there's certain grains or breads because you have to eat a certain bread.
Yeah,
I
there's
think.
certain grains and things.
Yeah, honestly, I've never.
It's actually the Daniel fast is actually a pretty good way for eating.
Right. No. I have nothing against it as in a way of eating.
Right.
What I don't like is they call it a fast.
Right.
Because it's not.
Correct.
It's just this is the way that they should teach you how to eat.
Right. It's just like a book for how to eat to live.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
Like church. If y'all would have taught me how to eat, I wouldn't have had to go through this process. But we have fried chicken and macaroni and cheese every week. That's what you learn.
I think that what's interesting is I got this story from multiple sources, right? Multiple people sent this to me. This is only the second time I've received stories like this. The first time was years ago. It was another pastor in Africa. It's always a pastor in Africa who had died from fasting. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, everybody's like, can this happen? Is this possible? Fasting's dangerous. But it's like, okay, 2 stories in the past 10 years.
There's the only other one is the dude that did that. I don't remember how long it was, but then he died of the potato on his refeed. You don't remember that? You don't know that?
I mean, it sounds familiar.
It's old.
Okay.
It's like people use these stories.
Wait, it's older than 10 years?
I don't know.
Okay.
But people use these stories as a way to be like, oh no, you can die. But it's like,
Right.
bro, you're talking about and we live this life,
These are like anomalies.
bro.
Right,
I mean,
but
it's so rare.
That's my point. In 10 years, there's 2 major deaths where people were messaging me like, yo, this person died. But it's like, do you have any idea how many people die of diabetes every single year?
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about 2 compared to millions.
Millions. So let's just assume that fasting did kill these people, which it didn't. But let's just assume it did. I'll grant you that argument. 2 in 10 years versus tens of millions? It's not even it's such a minute number you couldn't even quantify it.
You can't.
It's essentially like, okay, you could either risk dying of diabetes and you have a 87% chance of dying, or you could fast and the number, the risk of you dying is so insignificant we don't have a number to represent it.
It's literally 0.0 to infinity 1.
Like
it's so low. And once again, neither of these people died because of the fast.
Right. They always survive the fast.
He made it 38 days, but somehow he made it 38 days on his own. But as soon as he goes to the hospital, as soon as I read, they instantly put him on an IV and they tried to feed him, and you had the exact same reaction. I said, "Oh, they killed him."
Yeah, it's obvious to anybody who understands fasting.
They should have took him to a holistic doctor. They probably took him to an ER or something like
Of
that.
course they did. No, twins. They took him to the ER. Oh, the doctors know everything, bro. They should have reached out to us. Hey, man, it's all good, man.
Hey, that AHA, man.
If he wants to finish his fast, let him finish it. Right? This is important for him. If he wants to finish it, let him finish it. And then when he ends it, this is what you do.
Now, the thing that's interesting is, I don't know, because they try to make it seem like the dude was incoherent. Like,
right. His organs had shut the down.
I mean, he couldn't bathe himself.
I mean, yeah. I would probably feel the same way 38 days of dry fasting.
Right, of course.
I can't walk. How many times I've been laid up?
Your body starts to atrophy. But is he able to talk? Did he have any say? And what was his refeed plan? Like, because you did 40 days of fasting. Like, if anything, he should have just started his refeed plan.
Bro, this clearly he didn't have a plan. This is the problem, right? Like, it was just like religion is dangerous. I don't care. Religion is dangerous, and we blindly believe in things, and it's just like, okay, let's think about it this way. If based upon the Bible, Jesus is the Almighty, right? He's the greatest of the great. And there's all these miracles he did. And one of his biggest feats was doing a 40-day dry fast, right? Well, apparently.
Walking on water,
turning water into wine, healing people, healing the blind, right? All these feats. Like what makes us think that he just up and one day decided, you know what? I'm just going to do this, right? Like he didn't, like, you don't think that he prepared himself? You don't think that he meditated or prayed or asked his father for help? Like, you don't think that he didn't? You think he just woke up and was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. Like, Jesus wasn't walking around here with diabetes and high blood pressure and obesity and then just doing this stuff, right? I mean, he was a carpenter. So they were walking everywhere. I'm sure this man was in great shape. You know what I'm saying? So
they didn't have all the processed foods that we have now.
They were eating whole foods. Like, bro, like, what makes you think that you could just start up and do what the Son of God had done, and everything's going to be just all right? Now, granted, at this point in my life and my career fasting, if I decided that I want to do a 40-day dry fast, I believe that I would be physically capable of accomplishing that, right? Now, am I going to do that? Absolutely not. There's not a sliver in my body that has even a thought to do that. I have no desire for that. And I've said that about other fasts, but this is I did 10. I said, no, there's no more of that. No.
I mean, Justin was doing 12 days regularly, so everybody's different.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that. I said me.
I know.
I'm not saying it can't be done, right? But now he's not going to start with that. Right, if you come out the gate, what he was probably detoxing something fierce, right? Like ferocious. So yeah, if you're not previously in that detox process or have some level of detoxification, like dry fasting does not care. It doesn't. It is going to detox you because it's like, oh yeah, we need this, and you're going to feel bad. You're not going to feel good. You're going to have crazy detox symptoms, but it's all normal. And everything will come back. Everything will. You start to get the life back in his face. Everything will be perfect if he just simply started refeeding the proper way.
Since we're talking about health, there's a question that one of our subscribers wants to know.
What they want to know about?
They said, is it possible to live a plant-based life and fasting life and one day out of the week you eat what you want?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, you can do that. I'm assuming that's not really I'm assuming that's not really the question.
I mean, that's the question.
No, I understand, but that's not the question.
The question is, what's your body gonna do? How's your body gonna react?
Right. Is this something that I should do? That's what they're saying.
I think they just want the permission to be able to do it. But here's the crazy thing about it. 9 times out of 10, if that's your goal, you're either going to start skipping your cheat day or your cheat days are going to start multiplying.
Yep.
You're not going to maintain that. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't even really matter. You're either going to be like, I don't even need this cheat day, because when you do it long enough, it's a lifestyle. Your thought process, everything changes. The only reason they're asking this question is because they're on the other end. They're probably closer to the SAD diet. And they're thinking, I'm going to miss these foods. I'm going to want to have them every once in a while. But once you start down this pathway, you're like, you don't want that food anymore.
Yeah.
You literally start, your mind starts to rewire itself, right? As you eat more plant-based foods. Like you start to, your body starts getting the fuel that it should have, right? That we're born to have. And most people, for all of their life, don't get it, right? Did you know that when juicing, a glass of green juice, the amount of micronutrients that someone gets, or the amount of nutrition that someone gets, in one glass is more than the average person gets in over a week on a standard American diet?
Yeah, I knew that about 1 second ago.
Ago?
I just found out.
Stupid.
Appreciate that.
One glass, right? So that would mean that you will be more healthy if you literally just added one glass of green juice a week, or better yet, a day.
And green juice consists of?
So green juice would be, typical green juice is going to be cucumbers, celery, like 1 or 2 green apples, a lemon, ginger. You can do, and then some leafy greens. So you can do parsley, cilantro, kale, red kale, spinach, something like that. But that's what a green juice would be. And when I say one glass, not an 8 ounce, right? 16 ounces. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to make an 8 ounce. You got weight. I mean, even you add one bit of each one of those produces, you're gonna get more than 8 ounces. So
the point is, so somebody commented on one of my videos recently, where I had the lady from Jamaica on that was doing the raw.
Okay.
They said, "Oh, she looks malnourished," and I said, "No, you're just so used to obesity and inflammation, you don't know what a normal-looking person looks like."
Correct.
I said, "The funny thing about it is, the obese person is actually malnourished.
That's correct.
That's what causes obesity." This is what Steve is basically just saying. It's the lack of nutrition that causes the obesity in the first place. So when we think of malnourished, we think of a shriveled up person who's got the sunken in eyes and all that, which she doesn't have. But that's what we think of. But it's actually it's 60% of Americans or more, really.
Yeah.
Wow. That's sad.
It is.
That people who are fasting, they are getting, I guess, criticized by, they're being looked at in a particular way. And that's why I always say, man, like, you got to get away from those type of people that constantly, they don't necessarily know the proper way to stay healthy or the way to live healthy, but they base it on the Western society's standards when it comes to health. And it just reinforces a negative, lifestyle, when it comes to trying to better yourself overall. And one thing that I did want to discuss, which Steven already talked about.
I did?
Not in a podcast, but I saw you post about it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Check out my Instagram, Instagram.com/Stephen Michael Wellness. Check me out.
Instagram.com.
Who does that?
Like, bro, my handle.
It's gonna be at the beginning.
Go
of the
to
episode.
the Instagram app.
Go to Instagram.
And then put in
Stephen Michael Wellness. But you know what I'm saying? Instagram.com/Stephen Michael Wellness.
Search Instagram.com/Stephen Michael. See if it pops.
No, don't search it that way.
Go to Instagram. Type in Instagram.com.
All one word. I'ma come up. I got the dreads.
Anywho, man, are you aware of the freaking world? What's happening in his world? I know Chris isn't because he doesn't.
I mean, there's a lot happening right now.
I don't know. My world is amazing.
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Yes, man. It's all these chemicals.
Oh man, it's
Chemical
bad.
spills.
Yes, it's,
You know about that?
You talked about it.
There's and the thing is, like, there's more than just one chemical spill.
Yeah, correct.
It's happening. Like, there's one that happened in Texas. There's one that happened in.
It was in Texas.
It was in Houston.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
And
That's close to the water. They're gonna get that in the water.
Bro, they're all close to the water.
Ohio. There's one in Norway that happened. I'm just like, in some of these instances, it would be like train derailments. I know that's how it was in Ohio, the train derailment, and then they'll burn the chemicals.
Idiots.
It's like, and
Idiots.
it's happening.
They're burning the chemicals.
The train derailed, right? And there was a chemical on the train that was toxic. So in their genius mind, they said, okay, let's burn the chemicals using a chemical that they used in World War I that was designed as chemical warfare, right? So then these chemicals create this huge, basically a nuclear cloud, a plume.
It's just, it looks
Oh
like,
my God.
it
Yeah.
looks like thunder
It looked like
clouds,
clouds.
but it's like
in Ohio.
Yes.
yes.
Oh my
So they burned it, and then it created this nuclear plume that now just started spreading.
fallout.
Right. And then it's gone. It's from Ohio, and it's moved all the way over to almost Harrisburg,
Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
Pittsburgh.
I was moving towards the
It's
water
just
over
this
there.
huge array, but it's right on the river.
That's insane.
So the Ohio River down to like Louisiana, they found dead fish and cattle.
Dead animals, and foxes, and people.
You
who
didn't. I don't think you explained that.
I said part of it in the video,
You
but
did,
it's
but you
been a
didn't
lot.
explain how it was spreading. I was like, I didn't understand how it was spreading.
Oh, I mean, more people. Okay.
No, that's not how you clean up chemical spills. That's not like that's what?
They said let's burn it.
Let's burn it. They'll have like
No.
They have news anchors or people who work for the news who go out there and test the water. You go through like anywhere out there, you touch the water, it starts bubbling.
Shut up, for real?
It starts bubbling. Like they have a dude out there. He's like in a lake, somewhere near a lake, and he just uses like a long little branch or stick, and just like you see, he just moves it once, and it's like,
Bro, like how? No, there's too
crazy.
many. This is how you know it's being done on purpose. Because there's too many agencies, there's too much information. Just working in, like warehouses and stuff, as an electrician, just like you never burn it ever.
No, you get some
there's
sort
a
of
material, an absorbent material
There you go.
that absorbs it, that encapsulates it, essentially quarantines it, and then still the way they dispose of it is probably not the best, but you don't burn it so it goes up in the air and spreads all over everywhere.
that's why I'm just like, bro, I don't know what's happening, but it feels like we're moving, the Fauci ouchie is already going out the way. So we're moving into this is a conspiracy theory. But it feels like we're moving into like a chemical warfare type of a situation because it's happening everywhere.
Do you know
So
what
in
this,
other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what this sets up? Number one, we got to remember that Bill Gates has been buying up all the land in the middle of this country for the last 2 years or more, right? Selling it to China, yada yada yada, right? This happened on pieces of his land. He owns land in these areas, so there's no such thing as coincidence. So in some way he's involved, in my opinion. Conspiracy theorist, right? This isn't in the news.
Dots connect.
Right? Dots connect. All right. Also, right, we understand that they have all their food products and all this stuff. And what they're going to do is, if they kill all the food, if they make it scarce enough, then they just say, oh, well, now they're manufacturing a problem. So what this then causes people to do is just eat the processed food, right? This food is safe. The food that they grow is not safe. Now that soil, how long is it going to be before they said this is going to be this is like the Chernobyl of the United States, right? Chernobyl is still I don't think anyone still lives there.
The Chernobyl, what is that?
Chernobyl is there was a nuclear reactor that melted down in Chernobyl. It was in the Soviet Union at the time, Ukraine. Right. And it melted down. And when it melted down, they told everybody, oh, it's safe. We're getting readings are fine. Yada, yada, yada. You guys are OK. Right. Meanwhile, all the residents are getting crazy radiation, like deadly amounts of radiation. Within 24 hours, people are just falling over. They're throwing up, like the whole town. Right. And then of course they eventually move people out of the area, and they come in and they start cleaning things up. All the people that were coming in and cleaning things up, they were all sick. They were all going into the hospital. They were dying of radiation poisoning, and it's been like that for like 60 years, right? I think at this point it's low enough to where people can go in and they do tours and stuff. I think, but you can't live there. Mm-hmm. So now we're not gonna know. I mean, they're covering this up, so we're not gonna know the true fallout until a year, 2 years from now, whatever. Maybe.
Everyone is going to be affected in some capacity.
Correct. I mean, so it's just like this is scary, and I think that what they're doing is they're using this to scare people into now. Listen, man, this is, oh my God, they got everybody during the what, I don't know what to say. The
Fauci ouchie.
The Fauci ouchie. That whole
We're not allowed to
situation.
say that no more?
I don't know.
They'll flag the video.
So they got everybody moving in concert with that, right? They're still pushing everything. They're still pushing things for people to get stuff, right? And what they've done is they have earned the trust of people. Not just follow me. The standard person, the right? They've earned their trust.
Okay.
Right, and they've tricked them into saying, well, just trust us, believe us, right? Oh, there's people still out there that feel this way. Okay. So now what they do is it makes it so much easier to say, oh my God, we had a national emergency. We got to get you guys to get these shots so you can eat the food, right? Or they're going to say, well, don't eat that food. Natural food is now good, is now bad. If it was grown in this soil, it's no good. It's gotten to the water. All the fish that are dying, now the water's polluted. So only fish that is good is going to be the farm raised or the pool raised fish. We already have that working, or the fish that comes over from China, right? This is what's going to happen. All these things, all the GMOs, the hybridization of animals is all going to be pushed even further now, because it's going to be like, this food is good. And natural food is just going to then just continue to go out of style, so to speak. This is my theory.
No, I think that makes sense. I mean, I reached out to my mom because when I heard about what happened in Ohio, I'm just like, because I wasn't like super privy, but then I saw it. It said Ohio, so anytime I think about Ohio, I think about my family, my mom and my brother.
Yeah.
And so she didn't really know anything about it, but I feel like
Which is crazy because your mom watches the news.
Right.
So what does that mean?
That means they're not.
It's like this isn't as they're not making it as big as it should be.
Yeah.
And
they're
like
covering it up.
And here's another, I guess, little fun fact about what happened, because this happened, this explosion, this derailment, it happened in, East Palestine, Ohio. It happened in East Palestine, Ohio. And last year, there was a movie. It's called White Noise.
Uh-oh.
And it's about a chemical spill from a train derailment that exploded in East Palestine, Ohio.
You're shitting me.
Dead ass. You can look it up.
I mean, are we really surprised at this point?
I'm not.
Because
it's
we
just
know
like,
all of this stuff is orchestrated. It's the first thing we said.
So
this is on purpose.
Yeah. Is it? Can you stream it? Have you looked it up?
It's on Netflix.
Have you watched it?
I don't have Netflix.
You ain't trying to go that deep, huh? Because you can find out what's going to happen next.
No, I read
just watched the movie.
I just read the description of the movie, and it's literally East Palestine. Or you can even watch the trailer.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying, if you watch the movie, you'll know how it ends.
All right, someone give me some Netflix.
Hey, go ahead. Y'all can watch the
you
movie.
don't have Netflix?
No, I got HBO. I got Stars.
At some point, because
I was on your Netflix. No, I was on John's. I think his.
They changed it. I think
they did something, but he had the big boy account. He got 4K. He got all that.
No, he did.
No, he had it.
Yeah,
and I think he said, nah.
"They can't upgrade. Can't upgrade."
I need your password.
But But yeah, man.
So what are they gonna do, man? What's your theory?
I don't know what's happening, man. I don't get it. Like, I feel like there has to be some kind of book out there. Maybe there's a book out there that like predicted this.
Man, I literally was watching how to start a garden last night. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've already been on it, but I'm looking at planning March. So hopefully in the next week it's supposed to be 80 next week.
Here's the thing. This is all part of the plan that they've been orchestrating for as long as we've been alive.
Correct.
So it's not
Yeah.
none of this stuff, bro. Listen. The only reason why you guys are so upset right now is that you are mature adults who have a understanding of the impact of this stuff, and you're just essentially worried about what potentially is going to happen now that they're doing this. But you have to remember they've been doing this since we were children. Before we were cognizant of this, there was oil spills and anthrax, and nothing is new. You know what I'm saying? So to worry about it, and I'm not saying that y'all are necessarily worried about it, but to worry about it or feel like you got to go out your way to do something special, why do you think there's all these doomsday people out there? This is the type. You're just simply going. It's a cycle. We children, we don't know nothing. We grow up. As we're growing up, there's always that crazy uncle or somebody who's got like a bunker in the ground, and then eventually you become the person that's got the bunker in the ground. Like,
I'll take a bunker.
Here's the thing: the bunker never gets used.
I'll still take a bunker.
So at the end of the day, the reason why I'm so disconnected from this stuff is because it doesn't matter.
Well, here's for me, it motivates me. Don't get it twisted. First of all, I'm not stupid, right? That means I'm, even if they've been doing stuff like this, that doesn't mean I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not personally doing anything.
None of us
are
just doing what we've been doing. We
Right.
evolve all the time.
Right.
So
So for me, it's just like, okay, it's information, it's knowledge. I'm sharing it because we may be on a very different level than other people, right? People are just like, oh, I had no idea.
Right.
Right? Like, so for me, it's like, okay, this is just motivation to do what I was going to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I'm not in a position to start a whole freaking garden, but I can start some small things. You know what I'm saying? I can start my favorites, my leafies, and and maybe some melons or something. You know what I'm saying? So it to me, it's motivating and just like, yeah, you need to do this anyway, right? You start small, and then all of a sudden, now you got a whole field of, you don't even go to the grocery store, or if you do, you're going to just get a few things that you just can't grow yourself, like maple syrup or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think ultimately, regardless of what's going on in the environment, growing from home, even if the soil is bad or the air is bad, it's still going to be better than buying it from the grocery store. So no matter what, that's always going to be a better solution.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, you can control the environment at home a lot better. So it's very likely that you are getting better product because your soil's better or your air is cleaner or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, this is why I don't worry about it. I think it's important to inform people. I'm not saying people shouldn't be aware.
Right.
But it's like people have been aware. We've been fighting against this for decades. Oh, yes.
No, I'm just saying, like,
it's just different generations of people. But yes, people have been aware. Yes.
I think that we're more disconnected than ever. I think that people, even in the age of information, I think that we're more disconnected from what's happening because they have the ability to just do whatever they want. Right, they get a couple of influencers. They'd be like, "Oh no, it's not even a big deal. It's already good." They test it. They take some fake readings. Did it? When did the crash actually happen? Was it around the Super Bowl? This last week. Yeah, this thing was right after or something like that.
So right after the Super Bowl, right before.
Where's East? What part of Ohio is East Palestine in?
It's closer to.
That'd be northern Ohio.
No, that's what I was thinking too, because I never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it either. I was just like, it's closer to where Pennsylvania is.
Okay,
Right,
so it's out east.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Northeast. So when I first heard it, it said, I don't know where this is. So I said, okay, it's nowhere near Cincinnati. It's nowhere near Columbus, nowhere near our people.
Yeah.
But then a couple of days later, I saw that map, and I'm like, Jay, what? Like this affected area is all the way out into Pennsylvania. So it's scary.
I mean, it is what it is. I
mean,
what we gonna do?
I mean,
we can't stop an orchestrated thing that's happening in Norway, happening in Illinois, happening in Texas, Hawaii, and all these other places around the world consistently. Plastic and all this stuff, factories blowing up.
It's crazy, bro.
I'm just like,
this is
why?
Crazy.
All during Black History Month. But I'm just like, man, it's wild. It is. It's a little wild thing out here. I mean,
wild thoughts.
Did you all watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Did you watch Super Bowl? No.
Okay.
All right. Did y'all see Rihanna's performance?
I don't even know who won.
Wow.
I don't know who won.
Well, Patrick Mahomes and them won, so I'm actually
Who is that?
They
the Chiefs.
I got mine. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your point. I still have.
No, we talking about Super Bowl.
Do you think that the Chiefs won, or do you think that the Eagles gave the game away?
It's hard to say, but why do you ask that?
I just want to know your opinion.
I don't know because I go through my competitive state, and then I go through the what I feel like the NFL wants or should happen. So, I battle with that. My competitive spirit and my biased spirit says the Chiefs, they did it. You know what I mean? But then I think man, the Eagles,
when you say they did it, what you mean they won?
They won fair and square.
I didn't say that there was a cheat. I said I'm not talking about referees. Nothing. I'm saying, do you think? First of all, it was a great game. Both the teams are fantastic, right? Very good.
Are you
teams.
just referring to the last call?
No, I'm talking about the holistic part of the game, right? So let me tell you my opinion.
All right.
Okay. So I believe that the Eagles lost the game. They gave the game away. I believe that.
Purposely?
No, not on purpose.
Oh, you just.
Yeah, I'm not thinking entertainment.
Okay. If we're thinking that way,
I'm thinking about it as in I'm watching the game and I watched it, right? I felt like the Eagles in the first half, I said, this game is over. I felt like they were the better team by far.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Chiefs weren't behind by far or whatever. It was a good game, right? Eagles came out, opening drive, scored. I said, dang, right? Chiefs came right back, right? But then at halftime, I was like, the Eagles are the better team going into this. As the game continues on, they're the better team, right? And then after halftime, about midway through third quarter, I felt like the Eagles almost were like, yeah, we got this. And then the Chiefs started coming back.
the lights got a little bit too bright.
But they're both Super Bowl teams too, right? Recent.
Right, yeah,
So it's
that's
not
right.
like it's just like, I don't know.
Not that core. It's they haven't been to the Super Bowl
The Eagles just won. Like
what 6 years ago.
I mean, that's not Super Bowl. That's still recent.
But it's not.
Like
It's not the
NFL.
same team. It's a completely different quarterback,
but-
a different coach. It's a whole different system.
Man, you still got the energy.
I'm about to say, I don't think
There's
you
still
lose.
some players there.
I don't think you lose.
Yeah,
They didn't lose
Jason
everybody.
You
Kelsey.
don't lose everything. The essence of a Super Bowl team versus like the Bengals, for example, who haven't won for, what'd you say?
Ever?
Okay, 30 years or whatever.
No, ever.
No, ever.
Oh, never.
Yeah, we were talking about when they last went.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's like 6 years versus never. That's
But next year they're going to be big. Man, honestly, between all three of them teams, I wanted to see Eagles Bengals, right? Coming from Delaware, literally, and then coming from Cincinnati, I'm like, to me, it doesn't get any better, right? I mean, or it could be Colts versus Eagles.
For
right?
me, I
But
want Cincinnati and the Cowboys.
why the Cowboys? Oh, because we're in Dallas.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can go to the.
Well, that makes
You
sense.
was gonna go to the game anyway, don't you?
Well,
No,
they
it
don't
wouldn't
have
have been.
the
It
Super
wouldn't have
Bowl here.
been.
It would have been in Arizona.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool just to see.
If they had a game here, would you go? Would you go?
Yeah, I'll go anytime.
No. The Super Bowl.
I probably.
How much are those tickets?
I don't
Oh,
know.
what?
I
I mean,
don't know.
I think they started at like
$400.
4,000.
To start,
Bro.
The
Those
Super
leagues?
Bowl?
The Super Bowl, insane.
bro.
Come on,
I
Fred.
have zero idea.
Like,
Zero.
Yeah, I think they started like 8,000,
Let me look up
8,000.
and
That's
I mean,
insane.
Oh my God, the Super Bowl. You.
So you're talking about a packed out arena with the minimum ticket of 4,000
It might be higher.
and the
than that.
box tickets being.
I mean, we're talking
50,000.
50,000. I mean, $100,000 for a seat. The Super Bowl.
Insane.
Well, you also got to remember, like, if you go playoffs and stuff, like playoffs last forever, right? The championship is a little more expensive, but the NFL only has a finite amount of games.
the least expensive ticket is $4,028.
4,000.
And how
That's
many?
crazy.
How many people fit in an arena? Let's do it.
Arizona. Well, let's just say Arizona.
Because
Is
you
their
know
stadium
it's packed
new?
out, right?
Yeah, it was in Arizona. Arizona
looking at
capacity. Yeah, I got it. That is insane. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Let's just say 4,000.
I'm thinking that they make all their money to pay the players and everything in that one day
For the year.
for the year.
You're probably in that area.
Let's say. Well, this one in Arizona is 57,400. Damn. That's bread. They caking. That's off one day.
That's off the cheapest ticket.
That's off the cheapest.
That's off 4,000.
They're making $1 billion almost.
Because that's the cheapest ticket.
And
There's only
and also think about the concession stands.
oh my God, yeah.
Think about parking.
Yeah,
They're making.
So
They got to be making close to $1 billion.
I mean,
in a day.
advertisements.
Oh my God! And when you bring the advertisements, it's over $1 billion.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're-
because they have to pay for certain slots. $1 million plus.
No.
Yeah.
It's like 17 million.
oh no,
32
$1 million was like when we were growing up. It was $1 million.
yeah.
like
It's
that
like
was
32 million for like 30 seconds.
That's big
One-
business.
one.
Man.
One commercial.
That's
so.
big business,
And
man.
you know, certain companies run commercials every time it goes to commercial.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola and them.
Coke, Pepsi.
Whoa.
I mean, these
Papa
guys.
John's.
That's that. Like, if you want, that's actually a good investment though if you're a business, because you have millions of people.
It's the biggest. It's the
Well,
biggest one-time watch.
Here's the thing. It is a good investment, but there are investments that are better now.
Yeah.
When you have people like Mr. Beast who's getting 50 million views on a video.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, there's better investments, and he's not going to charge you $32 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
True.
if you could get on an influencer page, it's like, because you got to think, who's driving the consumer rates? Like, you got the women and the children. So that's all you need. If you can get women and children, it's a wrap.
Yep.
That's why Kim Kardashian is so valuable. And her sister,
Jenner, Kendall, or
Kendall?
One of them. I don't know.
Kyrie,
Kylie?
Kelly. What's her name?
I don't know.
Man, we don't care.
I
Man,
don't care
give a
about
damn
that.
about
But
them.
her and then also Rihanna going into the skincare and stuff, like, that's genius, right?
I was streaming. I was talking to people on my stream, and I was asking them, did they watch the Super Bowl? Like, I didn't really catch Super Bowl, but I watched the commercials. I was just like,
Bro,
I was like, bro, I said, you're so programmed.
It's not even.
I said, you're programmed. I said, this is a football game. Why are you just tuning into the commercials?
I don't remember one commercial.
I didn't watch any commercials. As soon as the commercial went on, I started playing the game. I was like, all right.
No, I was on my computer too.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not watching these.
Like, and they're not what they used to be anymore.
No.
We now years ago, and this wasn't just because we were kids and they were funny. No, they're different.
They're different.
Like, I remember the Clydesdale commercial with Budweiser. Like, I went to the fair when we went to the Texas State Fair, and where I came in at the gate, I passed the Budweiser Clydesdales. First time I saw them in like real life, and I'm like, these horses are massive. I think I sent a picture.
Oh, the one with the cops were on?
Well, yes, but I sent a picture and they were in the cages, and I'm like, bro, they're so big and they're in cages and they can't, like, there's no room for them, and I'm like, this is so sad, right? But they're such like graceful beasts, like, but my love that I have for Clydesdales is because of that Budweiser commercial.
That's powerful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and this was because they were like, Super Bowl commercials were a big thing back in the day. And now it's like, bro.
Well, they're living off the hype at this point. They don't have to do it. But it's crazy because you think, okay, if I'm going to pay $17 million for 30 seconds, that better be the best commercial ever, right?
Yeah.
But eventually it's like you set the bar so high and it's like,
They did some pandering too. They had
To the
they had the female pilots, like, they have the, after you sing the national anthem or whatever, they had like the first all female
Were they even
pilots. I'm not sure.
oh,
if they
no,
were
they're
black.
not going to hit the.
the first black F-16 fighting Falcon pilots, the Blue Angels, to fly over the Super Bowl, first ever.
Yeah,
They're
Like,
not going to hit the trifecta on them.
yeah, they ain't gonna do that. But yeah, I feel like they were doing a lot of pandering. They even did you see the
Star Spangled Banner.
the Star Spangled Banner or whatever? Chris Stapleton can sing.
I didn't see it.
That dude, he can sing, and he's like a country singer, but that dude got some vocals on him.
He could blow.
He killed it. He actually killed it. I was like, yo, he rocked that. But they pandered to the LGBT community,
Of course.
because they showed the American flag, but then one part of the American flag was like rainbowy or whatever.
What? Like that? Like they put it together?
It was more like a color combination of like people standing. to I guess represent the colors, the stars and stripes or whatever. And then like there was one section
So it wasn't
of
an actual real flag.
Oh,
Right.
so these were people that basically were dressed in a certain way.
I guess all color, like red, white, and blue. But then
Because
one.
I was
So
gonna say
they-
that you can't desecrate a flag.
So they basically, well, that's why I was coming from first of all. But they basically are like, you guys are just as American as everybody else. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I mean they are
there's
American.
no
but,
reason. There's no reason to go in on that.
Yeah, but
It does speak volumes that a platform, I mean, arguably one of, if not the largest platform in America, would pander to them being such a
Small community, and
And
they probably the amount of money that they even like as a consumer to the NFL, it's almost zero. It's probably zero.
So this is why it doesn't make sense, because everything that they do is right to make money, right?
Correct.
That's what
It's
they
correct.
say. Okay, but then it goes back to when I told y'all before that the NFL and the NBA, these are entertainment companies, and entertainment companies don't have the agenda of just simply making money. It is to distract. That's why Caesar had those the gladiators fighting. Steve, you know more about this than I do.
shout out
but
Caius. It's his first name, Julius Caesar. His first name is Caius.
his first name is Caius.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Caius Julius.
yeah.
Okay.
Huh. Sounds like
Cassius Clay.
Sounds like whenever you have a son, it'd be his name Caius.
Yes.
Oh, for real?
That was yes. That's
That's
what
why you know.
Yeah, that's why I know. I looked.
Oh
it up.
wow.
I mean, it's a
Okay.
dope name, I'm not gonna
it
lie.
sounds great. Do you know what it means?
No, I don't.
You better know what
Okay,
it means.
yeah, you gotta look
You
that
better know what it means. You
Because
don't
that sounds like a name that has a meaning.
Yeah, but my
Conqueror.
point is that this tactic has been used throughout history, and you can see it. So
What did you think about the Rihanna performance?
I made a post about it. And I said Rihanna just went on stage, and I don't remember exactly the wording, but I said Rihanna just showed true feminine power in front of the world. I said she was fully clothed, she was entertaining, she was singing, and she did a great job. She was pregnant while doing it, still was very sexy, right? And then not just in her presence alone, but her dancers and the choreography. Like you can tell, like even like in one part, she's like walking away, and then all of the guys are like crawling after her, like chasing for her, because she's just, like regal. And she did like one little dance move where she shook her butt a little bit, but it was just like she doesn't have to do that because she's in her feminine. Like that's the way I took it. Obviously my brain was thinking something totally different from other people, but I mean, even to the vocals alone, I think she did a fantastic job.
She can sing.
I loved how she was on those platforms too. I said,
It looked
girl,
like,
you.
It looked like a stage on Smash Brothers. There was
It
a meme.
did. It did. If I was ASAP, I'd be like, nah, you're not getting up there. And you pregnant?
Yeah.
Then one of them things fall?
Well, the thing is, when I first saw her, I was like, did she gain weight? I was like, she either gained weight or she's pregnant. I was confused because
Really?
she just had a baby.
Yeah.
She literally just had a baby.
I didn't know she was pregnant, but I was.
in our mind,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like we don't get things in real time.
And she's not. She's out there, but she ain't putting stuff out there like that.
No,
She's
she's been
actually.
very
This is
quiet.
why I like her. She's not just in the hey, look at me the man.
Like
Cardi, the Kardashians, all of them. Like as much limelight as they can get. Rihanna's
Most people was trying to look for an album from Rihanna, but because it's been years since
Right,
she's
they're
released
very
an
upset.
album.
It would have if she was gonna release one. This would have been a great time.
It
to
would have
do
been perfect, but it's not on her radar right
She's
now.
chilling.
She's starting a family.
starting a family.
She wants to be a woman.
She wants
like
to be a wife and a mom.
She's starting a family, man. So I'm
But she
just-
might not get married, but she wants to be
you
a
got
mom.
wife. You got to wipe up Rihanna.
So,
But he hasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
actually, you know what? That actually brings me to a good question, which I was curious to know your thoughts about.
Well, hold on. Did you
go
like
ahead.
the
Yeah, it was a nice. I thought it was nice.
as a musician, like
I thought it was nice. I thought her vocals were really cool. Her presence, the way she was standing, I was just like, yo, she did her thing, man. Like I thought that the dancers, it was done well. There was theories about how the colors were. You know, how,
I knew. Yep.
how she was in all red.
I felt that as soon as I saw it, I said that's a very interesting choice of colors, particularly because of what's been happening in Hollywood recently with all this satanic stuff, with all the red and white. And I was like, Rihanna, why'd you pick those colors?
She didn't. But you also have to remember, once again, this goes back to she didn't.
She's in all red and everyone else is in all white. And
You have to remember that this is all entertainment, is what I keep trying to drill into y'all's head. So you got to think it's a production, and there's someone controlling all of it. Yeah, of course, you see Beyonce bossing people around, but come on. How much of what you actually get is her true vision versus what has been either implanted in her or suggested or just done?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I wasn't thinking the satanic part.
Really?
I didn't think satanic. Now the
What
other
was the
dude,
connection you? Oh,
the Sam Smith at the Grammys.
Yeah.
That was literally some Satan shit.
That's what I'm saying. But
Literally.
based upon that and what's been going on, I'd have been like, why don't you just change the colors? It just seemed.
But she was the only one in red. But it was supposed to be like, I guess like the white was representing sperm.
Okay.
And she's in red and
Man, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't see that as satanic.
Right.
It could have been, but I didn't see it.
I didn't see it as satanic. I just, as soon as I saw it, I said, it's a very interesting choice of colors, especially what's been happening in Hollywood.
I liked it. I liked the colors.
I didn't have a problem with it. But I also, I'm also, my brain is open. So, you know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, interesting.
And I'm always looking, I'm like, let me see what they're doing.
You know why people don't care as much about the colors? Because they don't think about colors as frequencies. They don't think about colors as information and data being transferred. That's why. It's just a color. It's pretty or it's not pretty. But every color makes you feel a certain way, and every combination of colors makes you feel a different way. And you could program and you manipulate people through colors. That's true. Why do I love the rainbow so much? Not the gay pride rainbow. I'm talking about the actual rainbow.
It's just the rainbow. Ain't no such thing as a gay pride rainbow. It's a rainbow.
I think the colors are arranged differently than the actual rainbow.
No, they're the same.
They're the exact same.
In the
You have
same
the- but then
order.
you have
They're
the
like the
transgender
chakras. They
flag.
represent the chakras.
You have a transgender flag. That is
Okay.
different. It's
Well,
pink
whatever. I'm a lord. I love the colors. Why? There's a reason why.
Yeah, but you're trying to hijack that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's because it resonates. What resonates with me on a level that maybe I haven't like actually been educated on, but it resonates. You know, I love my brand colors. They're not the rainbow, but it's as close as I could essentially get.
You don't want to make it a rainbow.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can make it a rainbow.
No, you
audience.
won't. No, you won't.
Get you a whole new
Nah, they ain't
audience.
gonna. They ain't. Nah, we don't need
If I
them.
would have had it my way, them colors would have been rainbow, baby.
Hey, same here. I actually I made my like background either on Twitter and YouTube. It has but it doesn't. It's not rainbow. It just represents chakras. You know, you start from the root chakra, move up from sacral all the way up to the crown. So those colors just happen to be rainbow. But the question I want to know is, can a man be the lead
Yes.
in a relationship if the woman makes more money than him?
Wow, man, you took us back to the Stone Ages with this question.
I mean, we had a similar question like that last week.
Was it?
I mean, you asked us. It's different, but you asked us, could we be in a relationship with a woman who makes more money than you?
I didn't ask that last week.
The week before?
It was recent.
Oh yeah, because I was like, yeah, give me that. Give
It's
me
different, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
said,
give
I
me
need
that.
some rich-
This is different,
Well,
but
it's more like taking the lead because the men are typically supposed to be the head of the household.
to me, this really depends on the woman. I don't think this depends on the man. It's not about can he lead. It's about can she be led, right? And yeah, I could position myself properly. I could be assertive. I could be dominant. I could provide financial security, right? I mean, I can still provide everything. But if she still holds that standard of, well, you need to make more money than me, or da-da-da, well, I wear the pants because I make the most money, it's never going to work. Period. So can he? Sure, right? But can he? And then that really is, well, that's up to the woman, my opinion.
How likely do you think that relationship would be successful?
It's low. My our dad was in our stepmom. She made more money than him for a while. And when I think about this from an adult standpoint, right, having our conversation that we have, I can see how they had so many issues because she was the one going from school to school. She was getting more education. And I remember her saying things to me like in confidence because we got really close. And, you know, she just would be like, oh, I just feel like I'm doing this all on my own, right? Just little things like that. But I was like, at this point, I was like 16, 17, you know, and like she would always take me places. Like we got close. And I never understood what any of that meant until I, you know, became like an adult.
Yeah.
But I mean, she got to the point where I think at her highest, she was making like $95,000. Like one of her goals was to make it to $100,000, and she was getting her doctorate and everything. And my dad at the time was, you know, he was still, I don't know what he was making, but I would, in my head now, I would assume that he was probably in the 50,000 range, right? And just kind of going from school to school with kind of following behind her. And she was leading the relationship. Not only was she leading the relationship in finances, she was also leading the relationship in raising the children. Right, Chris? Am I right? She was doing everything. Like, and it's unfortunate because like
So she was wearing the pants basically.
yes, and from the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
Right. From my standpoint, I went to her for stuff. Right. Hey, I need money for this. She got me my first job. Like. That's something that the dad would typically do. Like, hey, it's time for you to start working, yada, yada, yada. She took me out, and she was working at this, like convenience store. And she was like, listen, I'm quitting, and I've already talked to them. You're 14 now, and I already got your paperwork from the school. All you got to do is fill it out, go down there, meet them. I'll take you down. I'll make sure you get to work every day. And I was working part-time. I think I was working 10 hours a week, something like that. Because, you know, you're only limited like 15 or 16. And, but I was making money now. And then from that point, then she was like, okay, now you're a man, right? She's the one that started making me go to the gym. Because my dad was going, he started to go to the Y, but she was like, you need to go, right? Like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what? She probably saw me getting bigger, or she saw some things. I was starting to play football, like, it's crazy even thinking about it because I'm like, she's the one that was literally raising me, and my dad was there. I'm not saying that he wasn't present, but he wasn't present, right? He was there, but he wasn't there. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of worse than even having one there. So like, bro, I don't feel like I can even get to you. You know what I'm saying? I just made this whole podcast sad.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
You got any thoughts on it, or
On what?
the question I asked about?
What was the question?
Can a man be the lead in a relationship if the woman makes more money than him?
Yes, of course.
And how
Money.
How likely is that for to be successful?
Yes, of course a man can lead. It has how much money a woman makes has absolutely no impact on whether a man is a leader or not. Men are born leaders, or they're crafted to be leaders, and that has nothing to do with a woman at all, right? A man comes to you as a leader. I'm gonna say this too. In that situation with our parents, if our dad was the leader type, if he was the dominant type, he would have never been with a woman like that, because that's friction that you're not going to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even about the fact that she was so dominant and you just needed a man that was so much more dominant. No, that's just how she is. She was never going to be with a man like me. Like, never. It's never going to happen. I meet them all the time. They don't get past date one. So, in order for us to even have a scenario where this is a question, mistakes have to be made in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise it's not even a question. Of course, that's the man. Doesn't matter how much money. And also, I'm gonna tell you something else too, because we hear this a lot. Woman's money doesn't matter. Da, da. In a relationship where the man plays his role and the woman plays her role, she can make $50,000 more than him. He's still controlling that money.
Correct.
Like, this narrative that the money, the men don't get the money and stuff, that in a situation where the woman makes less, yes, all day long. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting it. What are you going to do with it anyway? But if in a situation where the woman makes significantly more and you have a real man in that situation, he's going to manipulate that money. Why? Because women are the number one consumers. So if he's not manipulating the money, that money is just going back to Gucci and Fendi and wherever it's going, whoever's getting it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all's quality of life is not going to be sustainable because women like to shop. What did Reggie say? Women be shopping.
Reggie. That's Chris Rock.
No.
What was it? Is it?
Yeah, but it's
Didn't Reggie
yeah, but
say
it's
that?
but that's Reggie's the character, isn't he?
Who's Reggie?
No, the Dave Chappelle was the character.
Oh, it was Dave. Yeah, it was Dave Chappelle. Dave That's Dave
Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle.
His name is Reggie. It was Dave Chappelle. You said Chris Rock.
Yeah, Chris Rock.
No, it's Dave Chappelle.
Mel's
He has a stand-up
Mel's
special.
talking about the real special. I'm talking about the Nutty Professor. So what are we doing right now?
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. When he was like,
He had the dreads. He was playing the piano.
and he was roasting.
Eddie Murphy. It was Eddie Murphy and
And Dave Chappelle, which was Reggie.
Okay, yeah, Nutty Professor, right? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Okay, yeah. I haven't seen
Your
that movie.
mama so
You
fat.
haven't seen it?
She
I
put a
haven't
belt
seen
on
it
with
in
a
while, so-
boomerang.
No, I got it on VHS.
Oh, okay. That was a.
I used to rewind that part.
Oh my God, that's John's part.
I used to
man.
rewind it. I was like, yo, he is going in on
He
him
was
right
going in. Like,
I
man.
felt bad, bruh.
now. I started laughing.
I felt
couldn't
it was
help
so. It was even as a movie. I was like, bro, this is too much.
Yeah, it does come to a point like, all right, nigga, relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Relax a little bit. You know what I mean?
But yeah. So the point is this: yes, it can work, and in that situation where the structure is set right, yes, it can work. It will work. But if the foundation is built on sand, if you have a foundation of sand, then no, it's not going to work. And that's all. That's just what it is, because women should not have to be made to be submit. You're not a wild beast that I have to break in.
Got a wrangler.
You know what I'm saying? This idea
Hey,
that women have to be tamed, or you know what I'm saying, like, or a man has to be able to handle. Like,
as soon as you say that, I'm like, oh no, bro,
this is a
no.
wrap. Like, no, I'm
you
not.
can't handle me.
Okay, you're right.
Like,
I can't.
Like,
You're good.
Have a good day.
Not only are we not going to tame you or handle you, but we're not intimidated by you. You're a woman.
When they say that,
Right.
the response they want, it's a trap.
Yeah.
The response, girl, I can handle you, dude. No, dude, you fell right into the trap, right? Because I don't want a woman that I have to handle. Like, a girl just said this to me recently, within the last month and a half or so. I don't talk to her anymore, right? And she was just like, I just don't think that you can handle me. No one can handle me. And I'm like, that's why you're still single. Mm-hmm. And this is why we're not talking anymore, right?
It's not a badge of honor to not be. You're not a wild mur. Like, it's not a badge of honor to not be able to be handled.
Stop
Like,
using big words, myrrh.
That's a small word.
small word.
It was a big word.
It's just not a common word.
Maybe mirror. Mirror is maybe. What's the word? It's the mirror.
I don't know what a myrrh
How you
is.
spell
It's
it?
an animal, right?
Oh, come on, bro. I don't spell nothing. I use words. I don't spell.
Myrrh. M-E-R. Myrrh. Myrrh.
Yeah,
It's the female. It's like the female stallion.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a stallion is that's a male.
Yeah. It's the female.
Right.
stallion.
So Megan
Mirror.
the stallion, Megan the man.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Horse.
sense. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but that's because people don't know definitions.
Yeah, people. It just sounds good.
It just sounds good.
Like, you
because,
call
but it's
yourself
the
a man
it's the
horse.
masculine.
That's correct.
Women have been referring themselves as stallions for years, not even realizing
Walking like a stallion.
not even realizing the affirmation that they're creating. This is the word magic. Because that's anybody who dealt with horses knows that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That the stallion is a man. So it wasn't like this was just the wolves maybe to pull over your eyes, because there was a time when everybody had horses.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did this.
Mm.
Someone tricked people into thinking that women were stallions. But the point is,
stallion.
what's
the point?
the women that I have dealt with, or the women that I deal with on any type of long-term basis, whether it's long-term dating, whether it's marriage, whether whatever, they are naturally feminine women, because I'm not dealing with a woman that I have to like put in her place. It's not happening.
So we said the same thing in just in different ways, because you said yes, right, and I said yes, but that's really up to the woman if she will allow herself to let him lead. So yes, he can be a leader. You can be everything.
I mean, we approached it from different places, because my thing is it's a man's choice to choose the right woman to begin with.
Right,
there's no allowing a man, and that's the problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that a man can be a man, but if she is going to be, I make more money than you, he can't lead then. Like, he's not going to be able to, even if he's a leader, comes to the table, he's everything, right? But he should never pick her.
That would be a lack of respect on her end, though.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, you have to be with someone who respects your position and can acknowledge you and praise you for, appreciate you for the man that you are, regardless of a currency,
right?
Or how much you make, because ultimately, men should make the final decision, in a relationship. especially if you're trying to, build something.
A man should not marry, oh my God, a woman that doesn't respect him. And a woman should not marry a man she doesn't respect.
Correct.
It doesn't make sense, but
Correct.
people do it all the time. Now, from a business standpoint, if you don't love him, you know what I'm saying, you could still make that work.
You can still respect him.
I mean, even if you really stretch it, even if you don't like him, you can still make it work if you respect him. But if you don't respect him, it's a wrap.
Yeah, there's not enough love. There ain't enough good pussy. It's pointless.
It's a wrap.
Because all that stuff, because let's be honest, you have a kid or two with her, or you start making money, and y'all start traveling and eating, all her looks and everything's going to fade anyway. So it's not even like you can be like, well, she looks good though, bro. You know what I'm saying? She's bad. Okay, she's bad right now. But how bad is she going to be in 10 years?
Pamela Anderson.
I mean, does she take care of herself? And if she does, as she gets a little older and she gets unhappy with you and she's got money, bro, it's over.
Oh, there was a video I sent you guys, or I sent Steven, because Mel don't respond to nothing. I don't remember. I either sent it to both of y'all or just Steven.
You sent me something on Facebook, but that wasn't.
It was
What you mean? I do respond.
Mel, you do not respond. You be like, I don't know what to say.
That's in the,
Yes.
Hold on.
Okay.
No.
So
Because
here's
you
the
did
video.
send something. I did see it. Go ahead.
Here's the video. This lady met the perfect guy,
Oh, okay.
and he proposed to her. They were about to get married, and she called off the engagement and could not actually state why she called off.
Oh no,
the
I didn't see that. You sent the mail.
I can play the video if you want me to.
All right, well you got.
Go ahead. You got a couple.
You got a
minutes.
little bit.
You got a couple
Not a little bit.
minutes.
Hold on. Shut up, nigga. Let me turn.
You tell me to shut up.
Yeah.
If you can get the sound going now.
You get some music.
I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes. But there was still something missing. And I just knew that I could not go through with this marriage. There was just something that did not connect.
What was
I
it?
felt that there was should have
D-game.
been a connection between he and I in order for me to be his wife. And so I cut off the engagement. And it was so difficult because he was a good man. It's easy when a person is not good. You can justify why you cut things off, but when a person is truly a good person, it's hard to explain. So I found myself trying to explain it to family and friends, and they were asking me a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And, I could not say, exactly why, other than the fact that I just did not feel the connection. There was something that was not there that I needed to be there in order for this to be my husband. And so I stopped trying to explain it, and I just trusted my decision, and I went on. But then I got an epiphany, and it was just like, have you ever been shoe shopping and you saw a nice pair of shoes, and it's like, ooh, I love the color, I love the style, the heel is the right size, and it's a reasonable price, like it's on sale and it's a good shoe. But then when you approach the shoe, you see that it's a size 6 and you need a size 7. Does it take away from the fact that the shoe is a good shoe? Does it take away from the fact that you're getting a great deal for the quality? Does it take away from the fact that the heel is still the right size? It doesn't matter. All of that still makes the shoe is still good. But if it's not your size,
Shut your dumb ass up.
Cinderella.
First of all, number one, why are you going to be in a relationship and waste this man's time for this
Resources.
long, right?
To the point where you get engaged.
You're going on dates. You're probably, maybe, hopefully, don't live together. You're having sex. You're doing all this stuff, right? You're wasting his time,
His resource.
his most valuable resource, and his money, right? And then he's to the point where he's like, "Yo, she has destroyed this dude. Like, he engaged. He's like, I'm ready to marry you. And you say, I can't even articulate it. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this pisses me off. Like,
I was furious.
this is why men are saying we're not marrying women anymore. This is because Luckily for him, she did
call it
this.
off, yeah.
Because this is the type of woman that would stay with you for 2 or 3 years,
Have
and she's gonna be like,
children.
you know what?
She gonna have your children too.
Right now you owe her child support, and you owe all this stuff. Like
I just wasn't happy.
this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't even like cussing, man, but I'm pissed. I'm upset. I'm genuinely I'm genuinely upset.
I am glad that she came on the internet and put that out there, because women will act like that doesn't happen ever. That's never the reason why the relationship breaks down.
There's no reason.
That's never the reason why a man cheats.
I don't know.
Right?
Like,
I didn't do anything wrong. That energy is the
you think
thing
he
that's
can't
wrong.
feel that?
Of course he does.
Like,
he probably was battling with himself, but he was so emotional
Yeah.
that he allowed his emotions to get the better of him.
He obviously loves her, right?
Oh, 100%.
He maybe have felt her slipping.
He did.
And then he asked her to marry him because he may be thinking, maybe this is what I need. Maybe this is what she wants.
Right.
So this is why he asked. Maybe, I can get her, right? Bro, this is terrible.
Bruh.
And then she's gonna be upset because she's like, my family's asking me all these questions. Yeah, because it's like, girl, what's wrong with you?
And 10 years from now, she's still going to be single, looking for that. There's just something missing.
Bro, this is the one up here in church, on your knees, crying to boo-hoos, asking Jesus to send you a man, and he's gonna be sitting back and be like, I gave you one.
Bro, how many chances?
I gave you your man.
How many chances do you get? You
with that terrible
how many,
weave on.
How many? Oh my God, that bang,
man! That thing was so synthetic. Like, it was just like, bro, this thing is shiny. I can see my reflection in that damn weave.
That thing. I was like, but why is it that you all think you get unlimited options? Like,
man.
he's checking
every box.
But this is the analogy of the husband store that I tell.
She didn't. Two things she didn't mention:
sex
and finances. She didn't say anything. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think she.
I don't remember finances.
I don't either.
She didn't mention it.
So
there you go.
He checked every box.
Well, she didn't mention it.
She didn't
say. Did she? I don't think she said. Did she say he was a provider?
No.
Yeah, but provider doesn't necessarily mean finances. That could mean that she didn't like his. He didn't
provide
match
a lifestyle that she wanted.
Correct. Now he may be a good man, but she doesn't want to say it because everyone's gonna be like, "Girl, this man is perfect. Y'all can grow together."
Yeah.
And she's thinking, "I can find better."
Yep. That's exactly what she's thinking. I don't know what made her make this video, because that's the part that's weird
It's
to
so
me.
stupid.
It's like, if you're trying to protect this dude and you don't want to put his business all out there, don't make the video in the first place.
Yeah.
But
This is the same reason.
she's trying to justify.
Right.
She's trying to be like, look, I know somebody out there feels me.
Right.
On this,
And
right?
the internet's gonna jump on her dick.
Oh, the internet is going to the internet's going to roast her.
I mean, she definitely got roasted.
But the women are going to protect her. So it's going to be a battle, which I'm sure in the comment sections that's exactly what's going
Girl,
on.
you need to be happy. Find someone else.
With someone you love.
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah,
and men around here just like, man, I'm up here like, man, just give me a good. I told my boy just the other day, we were talking, I said, man, give me a good 5 or 6, man. I know I say that in average.
4 or 5 is what you use.
Okay, okay, Chris, give me a 5.
Because a 6 is solid.
Okay, give me a 5.
What do you mean give you a good 6? 6 is a solid.
Okay, give me a 5, right?
I like
give me
7.
I said at this point, I'm like, give me a 5 who's in my mindset, right? Who at least is in my sphere of mentality. Like, she eats a certain way, and she's at least working towards eating even better.
And she's teachable.
Right? She has a. Like, I'm not saying you gotta be submissive. Nah, man, just be willing to learn and grow and listen. Like, that is so important to me. Yeah. Like, and then also teach me stuff too, right? I'm sure that I want you to bring you to the table, right? Which there's a bunch of things that women can provide, but most of the time when they say, well, what do you bring to the table? I am the table, which means you don't bring anything. The table is a relationship, so I have to bring something to the table. Like, how much? So if you're the table, I have to bring something to you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that, man, whatever, man. You know what I mean? If you out there, man, give me a solid 5. You know what I mean? I'll take you vegetarian. You know what I'm saying? Like,
talk to the universe.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take you pescatarian.
I realize now more than ever that I need a woman who eats the same way I do. I can't because I've tried it, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. Even though it's like I'm essentially cutting myself off from a lot of people. Now I don't expect it to be raw vegan, right? I need you to at least be at a level where you're like, I'm working to get to this point, which means, hey, listen, you pescatarian, I'll take fish. I'm not gonna make it for you, right? But I don't need. But I'm not.
It's like an awareness that someone needs to have. They need to be health conscious,
right?
And if you're health conscious and you're the right type of person, that means you're going to be moving towards, enhancing your health. You're not going to be conscious of something and just say, "F it." Who cares?
Correct.
So.
I have very. I was gonna say I have very low standards. That's not true. I have high standards, but I don't need very much.
No man really does.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of.
Hey man, give me your final thoughts or something,
Application of knowledge. Ain't got enough time for that, brother. Make sure you all subscribe. We will see you all next time. Chris James, Stephen Michael. I am Animated Mel. We will see you all later. Holla.